Welcome back, everyone. And this is something you're only likely to see to come out of a state like California. California politicians hiked gas tax, now demand investigation into state's $4 per gallon gas prices. What could possibly be increasing California's gas prices? As Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom supported a 2017 bill increasing the state's gas taxes. When running for governor in 2018, he opposed a ballot initiative that would have repealed that same increase. It's 2019, and Newsom, now the state's governor, is demanding an investigation into why the state's gas prices are so high. On Tuesday, the governor sent a letter to the California Energy Commission, CEC, asking that the state agency investigate the Golden State's roughly $4.03 per gallon gas prices, currently the highest in the country and well above the national average of $2.86 a gallon. Independent analysis suggests that an unaccounted for price differential exists in California's gas prices, and that this gas or price differential may stem in part from inappropriate industry practices, wrote Newsom in his letter to the CEC. These are all important reasons for the Commission to help shed light on what's going on in our gasoline market. Newsom is not alone in wanting answers to this difficult head-scratcher. In January, 19 state legislators, 17 of whom had voted in favor of that 2017 gas increase, while the other two had only entered office in 2018, sent a letter to State Attorney General Xavier Becerra, demanding that the state's DOJ investigate the unexplained gasoline surcharge that was estimated to cost Californian families $1,700 per year. California currently imposes the second highest gas taxes in the country. A state excise tax currently adds 41.7% or 41.7 cents per gallon, a rate that will increase to 47.3 cents per gallon. That would be a 5.6 cent increase come July. On top of that, the state imposes a 2.25% gasoline sales tax. In addition, California has adopted a low carbon fuel standard and a cap and trade scheme for carbon emissions, which together increase the state's gas prices by 24 cents per gallon above the national average, according to a 2017 state government report. That same report maintained that, even after all these state-imposed costs were tallied up, California's gas prices remained above the national average, finding that both those 19 state legislators and Newsom are using to justify their demands for an investigation. Newsom, as mentioned, alleged that there may be inappropriate industry practices at play. State lawmakers, in their January letter, suggested the state's retail gasoline market might lack robust competition, leading motorists to pay more at the pump. However, a lot of the higher, non-government imposed prices Californians are paying currently could be plausibly chalked up to normal supply and demand. Local media reports point to the twin effects of increasing demand and springtime maintenance at the state's refineries as contributing to the price hikes. The late March shutdown of a Valero refinery in the Bay Area added to the price hikes. Something similar happened in 2015 when an explosion at the Torrance refinery in Los Angeles County caused the facility, then responsible for refining 10% of the state's gas, to close for over a year. Prior to that 2015 explosion, California's gasoline price premium tracked closely with our higher taxes and production costs, wrote Severin Borenstein, a professor at University of California, Berkeley's Haas School of Business, in a blog post. After the Torrance explosion, prices spiked and then slowly began coming down over the next year, although they to this day remain higher than they were prior to that incident. Industry representatives maintain that any difference in the state's gas prices can be explained by normal market forces, and of course all those taxes and regulations. The petroleum industry on the West Coast has been subject to dozens of independent investigations by government agencies, all of which concluded the dynamics of supply and demand are responsible for movements in the price of gasoline and diesel fuel, said Kevin Slagle, a spokesperson for the Western States Petroleum Association, or WSPA. in a statement adding that state programs such as cap and trade and the low carbon fuel standard impact fluctuations in energy markets. It should be pointed out, too, that high levels of taxation and regulation and a lack of competition in the state's fuel sector are not mutually exclusive explanations. Government fees and red tape often have the effect of squeezing out marginal producers and retailers, giving remaining firms greater ability to raise prices. And regardless of any mystery surcharge on California gas, the fact remains that state government policies are a huge component of the final price everyone is paying at the pump. Indeed, in the case of the state's cap and trade scheme, where the state caps the amount of allowable carbon emissions and then auctions off emissions credits, the explicit purpose is to raise the cost of emitting carbon and thus burning gasoline. Absent these policies, the state's gas prices would be lower. Clearly, for many of California's politicians, the benefits of state policies aimed at producing cleaner air quality, mitigating climate change, and generating more revenue for road maintenance and light rail expansions surpass the cost of higher gas prices. If that's the case, however, Newsom and others should make that case to voters directly and explicitly instead of trying to appease motorists' anger by pointing their fingers at industry. This one is actually pretty simple to explain, although I will again point out that I studied to be a social studies teacher, so economics is part of what I studied. And we're going to use some just basic numbers. Let's say that a refinery can refine 1 barrel of oil for $100, and that will produce twice the carbon that is allowed under the low emissions. So now, to buy the offsets, they have to spend another $100. So now their cost has doubled. So instead of, and we're going with a 50-gallon drum, instead of $2 per gallon, we're now spending $4 per gallon to refine that. The state then imposes a 2.25% tax. Now on $4, 10% is 40 cents, 2.25% is 10 cents. So we're at 4.10. But they also will have this summer 47.3 cents per gallon. So we're at $2.57.3 per gallon. And that's the cost to refine and the taxes and other fees. Now, all businesses are in existence to make money. So, we're going to remove the 2.25% and the 47.3 cents because those prices are assessed at the pump. But we are still at the $4 per gallon cost to refine. When they then sell this to retailers, let's just say they sell it at $6 per gallon, so that they make a 50% profit. That profit goes into employee wages, wage raises, infrastructure expansion and repair, and so on. The retailer likewise needs to make a profit, so they're going to sell it for $8 a gallon, which is a 25% credit. I'm sorry, a 30% credit profit. But we're now at $8, and then there's the 2.25%, which is 20 cents now, and the 47.3, so we are at 867.3. Now, let's do it without the fees. It costs you $100 to refine 50 gallons of oil into gasoline. So, you have $2 a gallon cost. You're going to sell that for $3 a gallon, 50% profit. The retailer is going to sell it for $4 a gallon, about a 33% profit. Even if we then add in the 2.25%, so we're at 410, and the 47.3, we're at 457.3. We are less than half the cost of just the cap and trade scheme costs. Just cap and trade in that example more than doubled the cost of gasoline at the pump. And I'm not going to get into this, but it's all for the supposed man-made climate change reversal policies. If you look at history, and I'm going to keep this short on this, I don't want this video to be about it, but look throughout history. We have had droughts, we have had floods, we have had ice ages, we have had thaws after an ice age. Climate is cyclical, and very simply, we're not doing anything to exacerbate it. And I've not seen one shred of proof that at least 2 or 3 scientists don't take massive issue with to the contrary. So, because Gavin Newsom wants his money for carbon credits and his taxes, gas prices go up. But he can't say that, so he blames it on other people. And the sheep of California bleat in happiness for their exalted leader who's taking it to the man to lower their prices. But I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think. Remember to keep the comments civil. We do not learn from argument, we learn from debate. And as always, remember to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are among the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.